Hey guys, it's Damien from Marketing Food Online, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about how much it costs to have a co-packer create your food product. And this is a question I've got from a multitude of subscribers in regards to how do co-packers and private labelers charge? Is it a percentage of the overall order? How does it really work as far as what it would be at a cost basis for them to produce your product for you? And it's actually quite a not let's say unanswerable question, but I'm going to give you a few different scenarios because you'll understand how it's actually varies depending upon many factors. So from my own experience, the co-packers I've spoken with over the past couple of years, um, the way that it works is it really is dependent upon the product and the process to produce the product. Every single food product is not prepared, produced, packed, or created in the same method or the same recipe or the same type of configuration. They do all vary. So getting a really accurate one answer to a question like how much does it cost is very difficult to say. So I'm going to give you a couple different scenarios, and then you'll understand why it varies so much depending upon the product and, of course, the quantity. There's a lot of different factors. So one example, I can speak on behalf of my own experience. I spoke with a co-packer actually a couple of weeks ago. There's a new product that we have that I'm looking to have contract out because it's selling so well. And with the amount of business that we do and that we hand make everything to order in our facility, we're just not in a position to mass produce it on the scale that I really need it to be done. So I called quite a few co-packers, some that I've spoken with more than once, but just to get an idea of who would be the best fit for it. And the product is actually, it's a topping. It's I won't get into specific details as to what it is, but it's for ice cream. It's an ice cream topping. It's something that we created, but it was something I need to be produced. We've got about 50 different flavors, but we've got about five or six that we want to introduce on a bigger scale. It's doing very well for us online. But what I'm looking to do is have, a few thousand bags of each flavor, which would be about 4 or 5 or 6 flavors. So that'll be about 5 or 6 thousand bags produced in either a span of just a couple of days or at the most a week, and then sent out to our different outlets. So the one company I spoke with, here's how it works. So the bag itself is going to be filled. It's a bagged item. It'll be filled. It has to be labeled and sealed and then boxed and, of course, shipped. Okay. So the co-packer I would use for that, the way that it works is he had requested, the gentleman I spoke with, requested some samples of the product. And then he asked me, what is it you need us to do on our end? Because keep in mind, co-packers and private label companies can do a variety of jobs for you. But remember that you obviously have to pay them for that. So the more time you use or the more that you need them to do it, and I'll explain what I mean by that, the more time that you utilize of them, the more expense will be incurred by you. Okay. Part of the product that we're going to send them, we actually create part of it here. We do it in our facility and then send out that particular product. And then they bag it and label it and seal it. So that it's more or less the packaging on this particular product, the packaging of the product for us and then shipping it. Okay. So some cases you could get a co-packer to do all of it for you. They will source the ingredients, bring it together, go by your recipe, which, however, let's say 5 cups of this, 10 cups of that type of a thing. And they can incorporate all those ingredients together. And then they can take it, put it into its final packaging, seal it, however that process may be to seal the package. Because that's the other aspect that I was going to tell you to keep in mind is that you can't really give a definitive answer on every single product across a broad spectrum of different products. You can't give a specific price point, how much it's going to cost, X amount of dollars to do this, and it's going to cost way more to do that. So however much that you are going to need from them, that's going to be dependent upon what the price point is going to be for you. Now, also the amount of time. So creating the product and putting it together, it could be a time issue. Some co-packers charge by time. And they'll say, you know what, the job's really it's going to run us about 5 hours and we charge $500 an hour, whatever it may be, or $100 an hour and it's 5 hours, so it's going to be a $500 job. So that's not going to include, the cost that you're going to incur for your packaging, your label, the product itself, and then the transit. Okay, keep in mind that if you're going to ship it to them, you got to also keep that in mind. That's an expense that's going to be incorporated into your product. Okay, some co-packers, like I just mentioned earlier, and I'll get into this. Some co-packers can source it for you. They can say, you know what, we do dry nut mixes. We do like mixed nuts and seasoned nuts. So if you want us to do a flavor of barbecued peanuts for you, we know a place where we can get the peanuts and we can get the barbecue flavoring. Do you want us to source it? It's going to cost X amount of dollars. And then, because that would take the time away from you having to do it. There are private labelers and co-packers who can do everything for you. Okay. In the sense of sourcing, packaging, producing, boxing, shipping, logistics, and get it to its final destination. Now, there's some co-packers who can do the same, but you may want to do a certain step. Maybe there's a part of an ingredient that you make and you have to send it to them. Okay. So to really answer the question that I got, and I got another one actually yesterday, a gentleman was inquiring about, hey, you know what's the percentage of a co-packer to produce a product for me? How much is that? And I told him, well, I'm answering it now here, of course, in the video here, the podcast. So I can't really necessarily say, hey, you know what, it's going to cost 2% or 5% of overall cost or something to that effect, or X amount of dollars, because there's too many different variables. Your product may be very simplistic, very easy to make. Like, let's say there are actually, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there are companies that can do private labeling teas, like the tea bags you put for teas can make private label teas. So many of them actually, there's a handful of them here in the US. They can source the dry tea in bulk because they work with suppliers. And it's just simply a very quick process because they have machines that will grind up the tea leaves to a certain amount. Normally it's like about a half an ounce or so per tea bag. And then they'll package a tea bag. The machine crimps and seals it, puts it in the bag and then in the box. So it's a lot, much of it is very automated. Now there's other products that are done by hand. Some co-packing companies offer, for instance, the dry nuts. I know for a fact there's a company I spoke with about this, that they have an assembly line where there are workers set up to hand bag and hand weigh it out, and it's on a machine. The machine seals it, but it has to be filled by hand. Okay, so every single food product really does have its own characteristics, and it has its own production assembly process. It's very different. So I can't necessarily say that it's all going to be very simple. Hey, you know what? It's going to be 20% of this. No, that's not how it works. There's private labeling companies that also produce private label energy drinks even. This is a very popular product nowadays. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but there are energy drink companies that have recipes and formulas that'll put your name, your company name on it and create a energy drink for you. So the production cost for that is probably considerably much larger than it would be for something that's simply bringing together like some peanuts and a flavoring and a seasoning, and then bagged and then crimped and sealed and labeled. That process is much faster than having an automation put out hundreds of thousands of cans of a private labeled energy drink. So there's a lot of different variables. So keep that in mind. Not only is the product process a part of the cost, but also what the co-packer charges based upon, maybe it's hourly. Some co-packers charge based upon quantity. So they're going to say, you know what, Damien, I'd be more than happy to do that, barbecued peanuts for you. 10,000 units is X amount of dollars. 50,000 units is X amount of dollars. Or they could say, you know what, that's a 4-hour run of our time. It's going to be X amount of dollars. So there's a lot of different ways that co-packing companies and private labelers can charge based upon processes, the particular product, how they actually manufacture it, and so on and so on. So it's very, very simple. I would highly recommend you, of course, you find out what is the product that you're actually looking to make. Find a co-packer or co-packers. By the way, I would definitely throw in another note that I would recommend you call a multitude. 3 to 5 co-packers who do the same thing. Get different pricing, get different time frames. You got to also figure out the turnaround time. How long does it take for them to make it for you? Okay. Because if once you get up and rolling and you have to replenish a store or maybe replenish Amazon or whatever it is, and you're like about a month behind schedule and you're already sold out, you're just losing money. So keep that in mind, the production costs and the turnaround, the logistics of it. Are they able to ship it to a final destination, or do they ship it back to you and then it's up to you? Okay, so there's a lot of different questions to ask. Just to let you guys know really quick, I have a handful of fantastic resources on marketingfoodonline.com. There is a ton of co-packer lists that I have curated over the years, brought together some really great lists of different categories and different industries. I'll put a couple of links to those down into the description. You can simply click on it, take a look at it, and you can see the different lists. Dessert list, energy drink list. There's a handful of them on there, and they're all different in their own different industry. And I've also added on there 20 very important questions that you need to ask your co-packer or future private label company. You need to ask them to get the conversation going so you understand what they can do for you, and make sure that they are able to produce your product when you need it, how much you need it, and the list goes on and on. So check out those lists, and that's a great resource to get. Definitely worth it. So with that being said, I hope that that kind of gives you a gist on some of the aspects of creating a private label food product and the different parts that come together to really determine how much is it going to cost. Okay. So with that being said, I appreciate it, and I'm going to wrap it up, guys. And as always, if this was helpful and informative, please do give me a big thumbs up. I always appreciate the feedback. If you have questions about this specific video, let me know down in the description. I love interacting with my subscribers. And again, I thank every single one of you guys for subscribing and all of your questions, and definitely the support that you've given my channel. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video, or tune into our podcasts. We have the Marketing Food Online podcast as well. Take care, guys.